Pretty sure that's what he's been showing us, is to make us all more comments.
Every scar's a story that I survived. I've been through hell, but I'm still alive. They say slow down, boy, don't go too fast. But I ain't never been one to live in the past. I keep moving forward, never looking back, with a worn out hat and a 6-string strap. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down, I was born to rise. So kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Made a few new foes, but that's just life, that's how it goes. I ain't bending over just to please a crowd. If I fall down, I'll fall down proud. I talk my truth, I live my way. Ain't nobody gonna take my say. This road's been rough, but I learned the trade. It's sweat, soul, and dues I paid. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down, I was born to rise. So kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Let the haters talk, let the rumors fly. I ain't got time to wonder why. The good Lord knows the man I am, and I'll die standing tall with a mic in my hand. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't selling my soul for a seat at your table. I'm rough, I'm raw, I'm wild, I'm able. You can hate my fire, but you can't kill my spark. I'm a midnight flame burning through the dark. So kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. You can kick rocks. You can kick rocks. You can kick rocks. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
Thank you. Grab a seat. Good morning, family. Good morning, friends. We gather here today not only to remember Etienne's life, but to honor the path he walked among us, the mark he left on people, the strength he gave, the laughter he carried, the presence he brought into rooms, and of course, into relationships. Moments like these are never easy. There's no language that fully answers to the loss of a loved one. And yet, there is something deeply human about gathering like this, to speak a name, to tell stories, to recognize life not as finished, but as something that continues in those who were touched and changed by it. Today we remember Etienne not only as someone who lived, but as someone who mattered deeply. A father, a son, a brother, a friend, a lover, a mentor, a rebel, a truth speaker, a searcher, and an absolute presence. Let's focus our attention on the slide presentation to follow.
I know your life on earth was troubled, and only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the rain. So go rest high on that mountain. The sun, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us. We gathered round your grave to grieve. Wish I could see angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. So go rest high on that mountain. The sun, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven and shout love safely home in the arms of Jesus. Eternal life, my brothers found. A day will come, I know I'll see him in that sacred place, on that holy ground. Go rest high on that mountain, son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and the Son. Go to heaven and shout love for the Father and
They told me I'd learn how to live with it. Nobody told me how to live without you. Morning came like it always does. Sun hit the wall like nothing's wrong. Your side's cold, but the bed's still made. I stood there too long, didn't move away. Phone kept buzzing, I let it ring. Didn't have words for anything. House still breathes like you're inside. I keep forgetting you didn't survive. They say be strong, they say give it time. Nobody says how you say goodbye. How do I live without you here? Without your voice, without your eyes. Every plan we made still breathes, but I'm the only one alive. They say you're gone, but you're everywhere, in every room, in every sound. Tell me how a man moves on when his whole world's still around. Your coat still hanging by the door, keys still rest where they did before. I don't touch nothing, I don't rearrange like order might keep the truth away. I hear your laugh in the quiet parts, feel your name hit my chest real hard. They say out here, they say I'll cope, it don't live inside this ghost.
Carl Jung once wrote that every human being carries within them a task. That task is becoming who you truly are. He called this process individuation. It is the long journey of discovering one's voice, one's strength, and one's truth, and learning, often slowly and often painfully, how to live from that place rather than from expectation. Some people walk carefully. They walk carefully within the lines drawn for them. But Etienne did not. He lived differently, not because he wanted attention, not because he resisted the world, but because he listened to something inside himself that insisted on honesty. He was not interested in being a copy of anyone else. He chose instead to be unmistakably himself. And that kind of life always leaves a mark. Across the many stories shared over the past 2 weeks, one theme keeps returning. Etienne showed up. He showed up as a mentor. He showed up as a friend. He showed up as a protector. He showed up as a guide. Some people pass through our lives briefly. Others remain. But from childhood into adulthood, Etienne formed bonds that did not fade with time. He stood beside people through milestones, hardships, laughter, and tears, and change. He did not only make friendships, he often carried them. There was something steady about him, something dependable, something strong enough that others leaned on it when they needed to. And he never pretended to be someone else whilst doing this and being this for others. From early in life, from early in life, discipline shaped Etienne. Karate was not just an activity, that was a path. It taught focus, it taught him endurance, it taught respect, it taught courage. Those who watched him then, as a small boy, already recognized something that would stay with him throughout his life. And this is a determination to face things directly and to keep moving forward, even when the road became difficult. Strength in Etienne was never only physical. It was gentlemanly strength, relational strength, strength to remain loyal, the strength to stand beside others, and sometimes the strength simply to be himself in a world that prefers conformity. And yet, alongside that strength, there was humor, there was playfulness, there was warmth. He greeted people with laughter, with affection, with presence that filled space rather than shrinking from it. He could be loud, he could be proud, he could be unapologetically himself. And in a beautiful way, that gave others permission to be themselves too. Some people teach without speaking, and he was one of those. There are individuals whose influence cannot easily be explained. They enter a room and something shifts. They speak and people listen. They encourage and others begin to believe in themselves differently. Again and again, people described Etienne in this way: as someone who drew others forward, who recognized their strength before they saw it in themselves, who challenged them to grow without ever pretending to be perfect himself. That kind of influence does not disappear. It continues quietly inside every person he shaped. It would not be honest to remember Etienne without naming something else that made him who he was. He was not conventional. He did not live by borrowed expectations. He followed instinct. He followed conviction. He followed truth as he understood it. Sometimes that makes life complicated, but it also makes life very real. Because individuation, becoming oneself, always requires courage. Etienne had that courage. He chose his own voice. He chose his own path. He chose authenticity over approval. And that is no small thing. Among all the roles he carried, friend, mentor, brother, guide, there's definitely one that stands apart. He was a father, a dad. And in Tyler, his story continues. Not as a memory alone, but as movement forward. A father's influence does not end with his life, but becomes part of how a son walks into the world, how he understands strength, loyalty, humor, and courage. What Etienne planted in Tyler will keep growing, and that may be one of the deepest truths we carry with us today. When we try to understand a life, we often look for achievements. But sometimes the real measure is way simpler. Who did he stand beside? Who did he encourage? Who did Etienne protect? Who did he help become stronger human beings? And when we look at that measure, Etienne's life was full to the brim and overflowing. He walked with people, he shaped people, he loved people. He stayed. I would now like to give an opportunity for some tributes and memories to testify to all of the above that I've shared with you. Can I call Nirosha and Tyler to the front?
Hi, everybody. Maybe a little sad what I'm going to say, but I think us need to hear it, and maybe it will bring us some closure in ourselves. Today we say goodbye to a man who left us far too soon, and honestly, 41 years was just not enough time for him to have fully lived and loved everyone he wanted to. Etienne was a simple man, but he carried a depth to him that many people didn't always see or understand. He felt things deeply, sometimes too deeply, and that weight is something he carried quietly, even when he was surrounded by so many people who cared about him. And he was surrounded by so much love. There are so many people here today who loved him in different ways, friends, lovers, family, and especially our son. Even when he struggled to see his own work, it was always there, reflected in the people who chose him, who stayed, who cared. And he was magnetic. He had a way about him that drew people in. He lived fully, sometimes on the edge, sometimes in ways that didn't always serve him, but always in a way that reflected he was who he was, and he made no apology for that. He fought battles that many of us will never fully understand, and it changed the way he saw himself, the world, and even the love that surrounded him. There were times he couldn't see what we all saw, times he couldn't feel what we all felt for him. And that's one of the greatest tragedies of all. He deserved to know how loved he was. He deserved to feel the peace he so longingly wished for. And while his life may have held struggle, it also held meaning, especially in the life of our son. Tyler, Dad loved you in his own way, in the ways he knew how he loved you so deeply. You were his greatest achievement and the most precious gift he gave to me and to the world. And his story continues through you. Through your smile, because you have his smile, your strength, your kindness, and he will live on in your heart forever. Today we don't just mourn the loss of his life, we acknowledge the end of his pain. And while it breaks our hearts that he is no longer here, we hope that he found the peace that eluded him for so long, that he is finally free. And we will remember him for his moments of light, for his undeniable charm, and the way he made people feel. And we will carry him with us in stories, in memories, in the love that remains in our hearts. So you rest now, Ed. You were loved more than you knew, and you will be missed more than words can say.
Hi everyone. I'm a little nervous to stand here today. Etienne wasn't just my dad. He was my best friend. He meant so much to me, and I know he meant a lot to many of you too. The poem I'm about to read, The Laughing Heart by Charles Bukowski, was actually tattooed on my dad's back. I think that means it was really important to him, like a message he wanted to carry with him, and maybe share with everyone else too. So today I want to read it, not just for him, but for everyone who needs to hear it. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. There is a light somewhere. It may not be much, but it beats the darkness. Be on watch. The gods will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. And the more you often learn to do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The gods wait to delight in you.
Thank you, Nero. You were very brave, Tyler. Just like your dad. Made up. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I came prepared and managed to somehow during the night, early hours of this morning, charge the wrong phone with all the words on it, so I'm going to wing it. I fell in love with Etienne about more than 10 years ago in a kitchen one evening. And that seemed to be the common place for us. Every time we'd meet, it would be in the kitchen. Having coffee, talking about philosophy, talking about our day, dreams, aspirations. And like Donnie Bannon said, he was a true gentleman. Always. I could take him anywhere, I could introduce him to anyone new. He used to be my wingman going to performances and shows because I always knew he could handle himself and just be a presence.
And that made my presence, just my light shine even bigger. And it's a shock. It's an absolute shock. I thought I was coming home for a visit, and I was lucky enough to see him shortly before he passed. And I still haven't mourned him. I don't think we're going to mourn him. I think it's going to be a very long time before this reality sets in of not having Etienne with us. You know, I'm sure all of you can attest the messages in the mornings or random in the afternoons, just saying, hey, my angel, have a great day. I think of you, I miss you. And Tyler, your dad lived vicariously through you. He is so proud of you, because the first words that came out of his mouth when I would speak to him on the phone is, you know, Tyler made the team of cricket and he's doing so well at school and he's growing to be such a big, handsome young man. He never spoke to you as a boy. And your speech just now attested to that. You are so intelligent and so brave for a young man of your age to go through this. And just remember that we are all here for you along your journey. Even if we are far away, we're a phone call away, or even just in spirit and mind, we'll always be there with you. I'm busy writing a song. That's how I communicate. And I'd like to read a passage of it. I apologize, Mom, there's some profanity in here. It's been a darkest day since a week from Sunday. I know only the hookers and the bookies got paid. You said you'll see me next week as you hugged me. Then I heard the next day that you died. What a way for a welcome home. I'm sorry, I still haven't cried, but I know that you hugged me. Funerals are too expensive to be poetic, so we just hold our breaths and we drown away our respects. But that's okay. I don't think you'd mind. You were a beast of a man, but a man nonetheless. Always more, sometimes a mess. But I don't mind, because I know you helped me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayra. I would now like to give an opportunity, if there's anyone who would like to share words or feels that deep in their hearts to share a couple of words. I would like to give is there anyone? If you can just lift your hand. Thank you. Then I am going to close off the tributes and ceremonies with a letter that Etienne's friend Gert wrote to Etienne. A message from Gert, my brother, my best friend. We have walked a long road together for over 30 years. We've been connected by a force that is unexplainable. From the days of playing with toy cars together to the days of driving cars and riding bikes on the highways, we traveled the path of life side by side. The memories we made are priceless and forever etched in my mind. We had good times and some bad times, but you were always by my side, guiding me through life's hardships and its truly amazing moments. If our lives were a movie, I'm certain it would be an award-winning blockbuster. I remember the time we spent together as if it were yesterday, and that is how I would like it to remain for the rest of my life. We shared so many firsts together, and sadly many lasts, but I will not mourn your life. I will reminisce about the good times and rejoice in the fact that I was blessed to have shared my life with you. Memory Lane will always be my happy place. You supported me in my lowest times, especially after my mom's passing, And when I decided to move to Cape Town, you were a guiding force through so many of the milestones in my life. You were passionate and resilient, with a sense of humor that could light up any room. Your loyalty was unmatched. You were fiercely protective of your family and close friends. You stood by the people who needed you, and you never made excuses for being who you are. Karate was a huge part of your life, and it gave you discipline and something to strive for. I remember as a young child watching you at your competitions, so proud to be your little brother. Now my daughter is following in your footsteps, and she wants to become a sensei, and I find peace in going to the same Ellis Park Stadium you competed in, watching her walk a path that you once did. Excuse me. One of my fondest memories, Gert wrote, I will never forget the loving hugs, the inappropriate kisses. I'm trying to picture this from Etienne, solid, and I can see that. I will never forget the loving hugs, the inappropriate kisses, and the sometimes unexpected bites. One of my fondest memories is the incredible time we created at our joint birthday party in the Panhandle. It was the biggest and greatest event we ever put together. From the complaining neighbors, the mayor, to our neighborhood crush, Timmy's mom, joining the party. It was epic, so much so that even the cops couldn't shut it down. And then came the aftermath. Me and you cleaning up with what felt like a whole block's worth of cans and papers, blown speakers and amps, because the music just couldn't be loud enough. That is how I will remember you. Loud, proud, unapologetic for being who you are. Thank you for your guidance in life, and thank you for being my brother. Rest in peace, my Yeti. Meirand, if you can give me a hand. We would like to give you the opportunity for a last viewing. Let's all take a moment of silence. I think it would be in order if we ask the close family to move by first, and family after that, friends to follow that. If you would like to say a last goodbye, you are so welcome. Let's take a moment of silence. Thank you, New York. Before my closing words, I would like to call the pallbearers to the front. Maybe if you can fill up next to one another, next to my round here, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Tyler, would you like to go and stand there by me? No. Good. I would please like to remind you before we close off that there will be a wake service gathering and refreshments at Copper Lake Brewery after this service. There is an old idea that a human life is not only something we live once, it is something that continues in everyone we have touched. Today we feel the absence of Etienne's soul, but we also feel the presence of what he gave and what he left. His strength remains in the people he encouraged, and his humor remains in the stories that we carry. His loyalty remains in the friendships that endure, and his voice remains in the lives that continue because he was a part of them. To live loudly, to live honestly and unapologetically as oneself is not easy, but it is meaningful and it is remembered. May we carry forward the courage he showed us. May we recognize the light he brought into our lives. And may we honor him not only in memory, but in the way we continue to live. Rest in eternal peace, Etienne. Sorry. Now ask the pallbearers to lead the family to follow and friends after them. Thank you.
actually looking at this arm. Do you remember this arm? How cool that guy was. Fucking 18 years old.